Don't, 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 don't.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby.
I said I wasn't going to wear this shirt after Election Day. I'm wearing it again today. Some people have asked me why I said that initially, and I can explain later, but now is not the time. Wow. I'm not so much angry that Donald Trump got elected. Don't get it twisted. I'm angry that Donald Trump got elected, but what I'm really angry about today, what I've been angry about for several months, is this feeling that I've been lied to. That I've been lied to my whole life, actually. And I'll explain what I mean by that. My parents raised me with certain values, and those values were allegedly American values. Now, my parents were not naive people. They were Black Americans who lived through the 60s. So they taught me not only that I had to live up to these values, but I had to live them twice as hard as my nearest white counterparts, because the world was not fair and this country was not fair. And not only did I have to live these values twice as hard as my white counterparts, but I had to live these values not only to be successful, but to survive. I had to live these values to keep myself safe, to keep myself from being lynched or murdered for the color of my skin. And if you are a Trump supporter, or even if you're a white heterosexual cisgender man who did not vote for Donald Trump, if you don't understand why the women, the people of color, the queer people, the immigrants in your life feel the way that they do now, then you don't understand the dynamics of abuse. One of the dynamics of abuse is lies. It's keeping the abused person on edge. One of the coping strategies for people who are being abused is to figure out what their abuser wants. Figure out what makes their abuser happy and try to give that to them in order to keep themselves safe. But oftentimes what abusive people want is control. And you can't give someone total control over you no matter how hard you try. So nothing you do is going to be good enough, because they're going to keep moving the goalpost so that you can never keep yourself safe from someone who wants to abuse and control you. And the reason I bring that up is because to be a marginalized person, to be a woman or a minority in America, is to be in an abusive relationship with the dominant culture. And the dominant culture is going to lie to you about what they want from you in order to not abuse you. So like I said, I've been taught certain values my whole life, American values, and I've tried to live up to them. And I've spent the last year and a half watching Donald Trump do the exact opposite of what my parents taught me I had to do, not just to survive, not just to be successful, but to survive, to keep myself safe. I've watched Donald Trump do the exact opposite of that in this entire presidential campaign. And you just made him the president of the United States. That is the lie. That is the big lie. That those of us who are marginalized, that we can do something to keep ourselves safe from a dominant culture that wants to abuse and control us. And that's what people are feeling today, in case you did not understand. So the question is, what do we do now? Those of you who are with me on this, I'm going to ask for 4 things, okay? The first thing I'm going to ask you to do, those of us who are Generation X or older, is to stop mocking young people. Our grandparents mocked our parents' generation, our parents mocked our generation, and now we, the Gen Xers, we think it's our turn to kick the next dog in line. Well, newsflash. If only 18 to 25-year-olds had voted in this election, Hillary Clinton would have won by a landslide. Young people are going to make mistakes. They are young. We can educate them. But we need to be willing to let young people educate us on the things that we have been getting wrong, the things that we have been tolerating, and the things that we have been perpetuating for generations that they are getting right. Because this next generation has the potential to be a game changer. And our job is to keep this country from destroying itself long enough for them to take over. 2, I know you're worried about what's happening in the financial markets right now. I am too. But if you have disposable income, now's the time to come up out your pockets and support the organizations that have been supporting you, that have been fighting for you. Because a lot of these organizations have been depleting their war chests, trying to stop a Donald Trump presidency, and they are going to be in the crosshairs of this administration. Off the top of my head, I can think of Planned Parenthood, the ACLU, any organization that supports Black Lives Matter, civil rights organizations, immigrants' rights organizations, organizations that support the LGBT community, organizations that support the Muslim community. They're going to need your support right now. Next, 3. I've been saying for years, don't sleep. The kids like to say, stay woke. I need you to do that. At least for the next 2 years. Midterm elections are notoriously underattended, especially by young people, especially by liberals, and they are seen as a referendum on the party in power. If the next 2 years are the disaster that I think they're going to be, a lot of congressional Republicans are going to be vulnerable. And we need to show up at the polls and send a message to Donald Trump and the Republican Congress. We didn't do that in 2010, and a wave of obstructionist Republicans that have been handicapping Obama for the last 6 years got elected. We need not only to vote in 2018, but we need to stay engaged between now and then. And I'm going to ask you to do one more thing. Take care of yourself. This is not optional. Some of you know this, some of you don't, but before co-founding Sex Positive St. Louis, I ran a chapter of a Christian group called Just Faith. Shout out to my Just Faith family, by the way. I saw some of you reposting my Get Out the Vote message from the midterm elections in 2010. Thank you. I see you. But Just Faith was founded by one of my heroes, a white, heterosexual, cisgender, pro-life Christian man named Jack Jezreel. And one of the things that Jack Jezreel says that I take to heart is this: before you can go wide, you got to go deep. I'm going to need you folks to go wide for the next 4 years at least. And that means you got to go deep, especially now. You have to shore up your mental and your physical health. You have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of the people around you, because we're going to need you. And we're going to need you to bring your A game. We will save this nation. We are the only people who can. I love you. And I love this country, even when it doesn't love me back. I'm going to the gym after this. I gotta stay strong. I gotta stay mentally and physically sharp. I'm gonna drink some bulletproof coffee. Woo! President Trump. Oh, fuck.